Long way, get this shit a long way, shit a long way, long way, hit it long way, 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 shit long way, 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 shit a long way. Gotta get this shit a long way. Gotta get this shit a long way. Gotta get this shit a long way. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way. Gotta get this shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way. Tryna get money every single day. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be a new slave, yeah. No, we gotta finish rich, no, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand, niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we got hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit, tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way. Yeah, coach is tryna wrap up a entree. Yeah, told you the other day that did my palm strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a palm way. My name Atari, I ain't playing games, so I'm not Atari. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, man. I said fuck it, bitch, we gon' get some money. I said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I went to got some money. Yeah, cause we gon' get this shit the long way. We gon' get this shit the long way. Yeah, back and forth like the palm way. Yeah, and I'ma get this shit the long way. Get this shit the long way. Just the only way today. Because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask. We the new slaves. And we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay. We gon' be okay. They gon' be okay. They gon' be okay for me. Yeah, so we gon' get this shit the long way. We gon' get this shit long way. We gon' get this shit the long way. We gon' get this shit the long way. Yeah, we get this shit the long way. Yeah, cause we gon' be okay. We gon' be okay. Yeah, we gon' get the long way. Yeah.
Hello, testing. Okay, here we go. Back. All right. Sorry, my mic was on mute for a second there. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is where slaves live. Now, there's two kinds of slaves. There's unconscious slaves and conscious slaves. Unconscious slaves cannot see negative numbers, okay? And so for those of you that are new to the channel, I always like to give this example so you can understand what I mean by unconscious slaves cannot see negative numbers, all right? So if you are a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, I want you to open up your calculator and I want you to put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and then hit equal, all right? And I don't want you to say anything. I just want you to look at your calculator, and then I just want you to listen to the sound of my voice and listen to the words that are coming out. The reason why you believe you are a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage is because you can't see negative numbers, okay? What that means is that you don't believe the calculator. That's what it basically means. But I'm just saying easier that if you believe you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, when the calculator is clearly showing you negative numbers, that's because you can't see negative numbers. So that makes you unconscious. Do you understand? All right. Well, unconscious slaves were once unconscious, but they decided to believe the calculator. So they now understand what that means, right? So then they're doing whatever it takes to get out of debt. So that was me. I was considered what you might call the high value person, with college educated, 6-figure earner, all that stupid nonsense, right? But I didn't own anything, right? But I didn't know, because I was going by what the people in the debt matrix determined what value was. What they mean, the majority, because they can't see negative numbers, they mean everybody that can afford to make payments on all that stuff. That's the version they're talking about. Okay, they're not talking about the debt-free version. They're talking about the unconscious version. All the people that don't believe in negative numbers, all those people live in debt matrix, right? So one day I woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said that, because that was me. All right, that was me. And so woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, take the arithmetic that we all learned in grade school, apply it to your finances using these baby steps. That's exactly that. With everything he said, that's what I got. Okay. And so once I discovered it was just math, and I said to myself, then what does religion have to do with it? Nothing. It don't have anything to do with it. That's just Dave Ramsey's thing for his business. It's nothing to do. 1 + 1 = 2, no matter what religion you believe in. Okay, so it doesn't matter, right? And then even down to the baby step 4, I said, then how, if that's true, if it's just math, how can you save for retirement while having a mortgage? You can't. That's also business. If it doesn't make mathematical sense, that means that part is for business. Okay, that's how he makes money. All right, because they don't know that, obviously. So we here at SMD Family, that's what we do. We go all the way down and say, we give you the ability. SMD gives you the ability to see negative numbers whenever it comes to your money. Negative numbers count too. They do. Now, I didn't know that. And this is now this is after the fact, after all the knowledge I've acquired since quitting my job way back in 2016. Once I got debt free. Now I've discovered my gift. You know what my gift is? The ability to see negative numbers. That's my gift. This is why when you see people and they, other people say, hey, that person's gifted. You know why they say gifted? Because that person has found their gift. That's what makes them gifted. See, everything turns to the obvious once you discover your gift. And I know for 100% fact, I have discovered my gift. 100% fact, without a doubt. No doubt, no room for anything. You know what I did the other day? I found myself reading an Einstein quote. Okay, the 8th wonder of the world is compound interest. I found myself reading an Einstein quote. And you know what I said to myself? I can make that more clear for people to understand. That's what I did the other day. And I added to it. Because when I read that Einstein quote, you know what the first thing I think in my head? He's not being clear that there are 2 kinds of compound interest. There's positive compound interest and there's negative compound interest. He doesn't say that in there, right? I thought to myself, by adding that in there, that can make it more clear. And then it finishes out his quote, says, so if he's talking about positive compound interest, those are the people that understand it. If he's talking about negative compound interest, those are the people that pay it, because they obviously don't understand it. And now when I did that the other day, I really didn't think twice about what I did until maybe a couple days later. I realized, I said, wait a minute, LJ, you just added to an Einstein quote. Do you know what you did? You know how long that quote's been around? That one quote he's been saying right there. Do you know nobody else has added to it like that? That's how I think to myself. And my addition makes total sense. It makes it even more clearer for people to wait a minute. What? Because when you guys run around in the debt matrix and you hear people talking about compound interest, the only thing that you don't know if they're talking about positive compound interest or negative compound interest. They don't even know. If you know somebody telling you about compound interest and you find out that it got student loans, they're talking to you about negative compound interest. I promise you that. They're not talking about the quote that they read, okay? Einstein was not talking, he was both talking to people in debt and people, the wealthy and the poor. That's who he's talking about in that quote. You got somebody that's doing your finances and their student loans are older than their business. They're talking to you about negative compound interest, okay? Everything they're showing you is negative. Sure, no problem. Hold on, let me, if you want to come up here, you can get online. Let me copy clipboard. Here, this today is about you guys, so catch me if I start rambling, right? But once I realized that I did that, once I understood what my gift is, because it is a gift, it's an obvious gift. That's what makes it so amazing. It's obvious. Everything's obvious. Every single thing is obvious now. It's like, oh. What's up, the Scout, retired geek surgeon? Piece to estimated time for your book, or at least like to have it done. I'm excited, man. I'm really just starting right now because I just recently discovered my gift. I feel like I'm ready now. Okay. You know, people, when you discover something like this, I understand the excitement of people really want to get it, but this is what I suggest people. Don't make moves until you feel that it's right. Okay. I know sometimes, you got a lot of people, they're excited for you. They want you to get it done now, but you got to do it when you feel it. Don't ever rush it. Just go, okay. So once I discovered the ability to see negative numbers, now I know I'm ready because everything is obvious to me now. Hello, Dre.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
What's going on? What's your question?
Man, the question is this, man. I handle my biz, but I handle my biz with my whip, so you know what I'm saying? I'm out the matrix. But the question is this, man. It was a YouTuber, right? And can you hear me? You can hear me good?
I can hear you.
Okay. It was a YouTuber and he was basically talking about, you know, basically trying to pitch a sales. Like he was trying to say, he was like, yeah, you guys need to get this because if you want a such and such in this, then it's a no-brainer. You need this, da this. And I caught him on his live stream. So I had a question. You gave me a bullet to shoot. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put it like that, but you put something in my arsenal to kind of weave out stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
so I just went ahead and I asked. I was like, "Do you own your car?" That's what I said in the
Okay. All right. Good. Good. I like that. Okay. Go ahead. I like that.
Yeah, so I went ahead. I put that in the live chat, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, if he look over it, that's gonna answer my question, and if he get angry about it, that's gonna answer my question. So
Yes, you're right. I like it.
yeah.
I like it. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
So I was waiting for him to look at my comment. I was like, okay. And so he went ahead and he addressed it. Um, he was like, you want to know? Well, it's a funny story. I got a funny story and such and this. He was like, I owned, not owned, but I had a luxury car or whatever, and he said I didn't know that people was buying leases, and I took my car to CarMax, and they bought my lease for like $4,000 and such and this, and he was like, man, car prices are through the roof, and he was like, I don't even have a car, so I was like, okay. Now you done told me that I don't know if I should necessarily invest in what you trying to sell.
That is funny. No, you reading them just right too. Yeah, I like it. Keep going, man. You're doing a good job.
That's what it was. I was like, I said that when Sunday come up, I'm gonna ask LJ, am I doing what I'm doing? Did the young grasshopper learn from
Yes,
sensei?
you have. You're responding. You're getting all the. He's telling you all the answers without even knowing he's telling you the answers.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's all I wanted.
That's it.
Yeah.
You did it right. You did it right. You did it right. He didn't have to say anything to you. He told you everything about his finances. That's why I said this is like another language. But I want you to realize what you're learning right now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that you can see that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Once you come into that, once you start coming in to say, hey, wait a minute. No, they really don't know I can see that. No, they don't. They don't know. They think it's normal.
Because I was listening, he was like, I just made $30,000 this month. And I'm like, and I keep hearing them say stuff like, I made $30,000 this month and I did this and
Right.
I did that. And I'm like, when I went to sleep that night, I already knew, well, when you talked to me the first time, I already knew that people live in like it's not a reality. It's like, it's surface
No,
level shit. You know what
they
I'm saying?
they can't see negative numbers.
They can't.
They can't
So
see negative numbers. That's what the answer is. If they could see negative numbers, they would know that they don't own anything. If they could see negative numbers.
so I started thinking to myself, was, if you're a hustler, are you a hustler because that's just what's in you, or are you hustling to keep up? That's what I started thinking. Like, is that car the reason why you going so hard and you pushing so hard to be successful, or is it just something that's innate? Is it something in you, or are
Well,
you working?
they just whatever that word hustle means to them, because you got to remember when you don't live in that world anymore,
Mm-hmm.
whatever their definition of hustle means to them, that's what the definition they think it means. They don't know they're surviving because they're living in the negative. They don't know that.
Okay.
So they think if you don't get no sleep, you hustle, you work 50 to 80, 90 hours a week. They think if you do that stuff, somehow it's going to change something. No, it makes it worse. They don't know that it makes it worse. See what I'm saying? Because and I'm telling you, the answer is because they can't see negative numbers. Because if they did, they would know that.
Dang, man. But yeah, man, I asked that question and it gave me everything that I need
You
to
picked
know,
up,
man.
hey, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. People don't really pick it up that fast as you just did. The way you were telling me, how it's happening, because they don't know that exists. So you can't fake what you just told me. Right? Because they don't know that exists. So they don't know to be able to fake something that they don't know exists. So when you're telling me this stuff, I'm like, damn, he picked that up pretty quick.
Yeah, man.
I
gotta, you teach me how to shoot that shot one time, I gotta make sure it go in, you know what
You
I'm
did,
saying?
man. You picked that up good. Congratulations, man. You're on your way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You are.
I appreciate you, man. You
Man, I
take it easy,
appreciate
man.
you.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Hello, Jordan.
Yo, what's up, LJ?
How are you? Welcome to
I'm
the show.
good. Thank you.
What's going
So,
on? What's your question?
my question was, what's one tip you have for someone going into college? Because I'm literally going in like 9 days, and I just found your channel like the other week. I've been watching the videos, listening to the videos while I'm driving, and just picking up on all the concepts.
Okay. How old are you?
18.
So you have no debt, right?
Mm-mm. Not right
All
now.
right. You make sure you keep it that way. You never go into debt anything less than a house. That's number one. That knowing that information right there is going to make you a millionaire by default. Okay.
Mm.
Don't ever finance anything
Got you.
less than a house.
I have that written down.
All right. Now you going to college? How are you going to pay for college?
I can pay for some of it. I'm thinking I pay for some of it out of pocket. I may have to take some loans later.
Okay.
Which I don't really like the idea.
Okay. No, that's no problem. No problem. No problem. You're 18. It's different. And because you're picking up this advice right now. This is what I strongly suggest you do. Okay. I don't know what you're going to college. Do you know what you're going to college for?
Right. Right now I'm going for computer science.
All right. That's a good field, because I want you to, as an 18-year-old, I want you to look around in the environment and say to yourself, what type of job that I will like that will make me the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time?
Got you.
Got it. So that's why I chose computers, because I remember when I didn't go to college till late 20s, early 30s, right? And I would thank God, because I was more mature to look around and give you the advice that I'm telling you. I knew computers wasn't going anywhere, and I thought to myself, if I get in the right area, I'm gonna be pretty much guaranteed a job. As long as I'm good at what I do, I'm pretty much guaranteed a job, and that's how my career was. Yeah. Guaranteed a job everywhere. Just be really good at what you do, whatever you choose. And if you decide to get student loans, if you go to college for 4 years, you give yourself a maximum of 4 years to pay those student loans back.
Gotcha.
Maximum. No, not a day more. That'll force you to make a plan on what you need to do to pay them off by the 4th year. See what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And always remember this. Remember this. You might not understand what it means now, but I'm gonna tell you something, especially at your young age. All right. The majority cannot see negative numbers. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Millions of people can't see negative numbers. If you never forget about negative numbers when it comes to your money, you're gonna be rich. Okay. Never doubt the calculator ever.
Gotcha. Write this down.
At 18, man, I wish somebody would have gave me this type of information at 18.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of your old videos geared towards younger people. You were saying that you need this information when you're young.
Yeah, you stay out of debt, you'll be rich, man. You'll be different than everybody. You'll be able to do anything you want to do because you'll be free. Like if you get it, because you got to remember, right now at 18, you're free. Nobody owns you.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you go out into the real world, they make it seem like getting credit and finance and stuff is the way to go, but it's not. Because as soon as you finance something, that means you are owned now.
Yep.
Until they get their money back. Never be owned ever.
Got you.
How long you been listening?
I've been listening for about it's been 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember.
Oh, you just started. That's right. You said you just started. Okay. Yeah. Well, how'd you come across my channel at 18? I'm curious. Well, how'd you do it?
I think if I remember correctly, I was researching student loans because I was thinking about going into college, and student loans was a big thing on my mind. I was just researching that a lot. And I was watching one video, and I think I saw one of your live streams in my recommended. And I can't remember which one it was, but I clicked on it, and I was instantly hooked with the concept you were saying. Because a lot of the stuff about financing nothing, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's spitting facts. So I kept watching, I subscribed, and I realized that you got a lot of good stuff on here. This is like real.
Yeah. Okay. Because I try to reach. What's so crazy? Because the younger you are, I know it sounds weird, but the younger you are, you guys are closer to grade school and remember arithmetic, right? You guys still remember, it's still fresh in your brains. Because when you get older, people have forgot about arithmetic when it comes to their finances.
Yeah.
That way you'll be armed like by being debt free, and you decide to go into your business or open a business, which eventually you will. you know how to listen to the people that understand how it works versus the people that really don't understand how it works, because you already know at 18, and you'll be pretty much invisible because the majority of those people will believe you don't know shit, right? You 18, he doesn't know anything. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know but you know some different type of knowledge, and they won't know that you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a whole different language, like you were saying with the last person.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even understand you.
Can't even. It's like when he just did that the last call, man. That was right on the money. Everything he was hearing and how the person was responding, that was all correct.
Yeah, and personally, my parents have some. I live with my parents. They have some trouble financially, and I listen to what they do and how they've managed their finances throughout the life, and it makes sense why they're struggling so much.
Yeah, and they don't, so, and what the hard part about it is like this, you're learning this information at 18, right? You could actually help your parents if they listened to you, but 9 times out of 10, they're not going to listen to you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah.
You can actually go up to your parents and say, "Hey, mom, dad, I got the answer. This is the answer," but they're not going to believe you.
Yep. Just use basic math.
Basic math.
What?
Sure is just basic math. What people think you go tell the average person that, and they're gonna be like, "What? It's not that easy." No, it's not. Everybody would be doing if it was that easy. They all say the things that yes, that is correct, but everybody doesn't know it, and that's how it has to be, though. That's how it has to be.
Yeah.
Without slaves, the economy. Now, I mean, you could see now if it wasn't majority slaves, it could not work.
Yeah. Only like 20% can be free.
I think it's less.
It's a choice.
I think like 97% of people in the U.S. are in debt. I think it's high. Yeah. I just don't think they would put that on Google. They probably wake up and be like, "Wait a minute,"
For sure.
You mean only 3% got real money? Oh, let's figure that out. What's going on there? But it's true.
Yeah, I saw that one post that you made with the red dollars. I was like, yeah, that's what it should be.
That's
you should have the red dollars.
The red dollars. And see how you notice what the red dollar means? I guarantee you show a red dollar to anybody else, they will have no idea what that means. I mean, you should take a picture of it and then show a few of your friends and say, "Hey, do you know what this means?" Guarantee you none of them will say yes. Nobody will.
Yeah. That might be a good teaching moment right there.
It is a red dollar. I like the red dollar idea. It really opens because it turns it from psychological to physical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, Jordan, man. By the way, have you been able to share this information with any of your friends or family? I
have not yet, but I plan to. I plan to try to give this information to as many people.
No, I mean, when you think about it, I mean like this. Do you have anybody in your life that if you walked up and start talking to them about this, do you think any of those guys would listen?
I bet my friends at work would probably definitely listen. They all have some financial goals, so if I give them that information,
you should test it. You should test to see how many people would actually listen to you or think you're crazy. Jordan's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people. I want to know how many people are going to look at you like you're crazy. Those are the people I'm looking for.
Yeah. I did start talking to my one of the girls I'm talking to. I was talking to her about it the other day, and she was actually understanding some of it. So that's good.
Well, I just wanted to make sure, be careful when you do this at work. I don't want you sitting at the lunch table by yourself, okay? Because that's what usually happens when people do that at work, and then now they're sitting alone, okay?
Yeah, I do watch out for that though. But I do see it in some people. Like I can kind of tell who at my job is like is a slave or not. Or a conscious slave or not. Yeah.
All right, Jordan, man. Thanks for jumping on, man. I appreciate it. And thanks for following.
Right. Appreciate you. I'll be with the channel.
All right. Later.
All right. Later.
I like that, man. 18 years old. Can you imagine? Man, had I known at 18, had I found my gift, well, see, that's the difference though. See, I mean, I appreciate that I found my gift at a more mature age because I don't know how I would have treated it if I would have found my gift at 18. If I would have known I had the ability to see negative numbers and millions and everybody else, the majority where I live, do not. Can you imagine knowing this information at 18? Oh, man. I would probably be in every history book next to Einstein himself. This dude figured this out. And you know what's so crazy about it? It was so crazy. I didn't figure out nothing. That's what the funny part is, right? Here I am. I'm rearranging an Einstein quote about compound interest to make it sound better. Or make it not even sound better, to make it understood better. Right? It's just, that's the bananas to me. But I'm not even doing anything, you know? I'm not even doing I'm a genius because I trust the calculator. That's why I'm a genius. Okay. Hey man, if you guys say whatever you want to say, I guess. Oh yeah, you're right, AJ. He's gonna be a rich man. Sometimes it's like people don't even understand this gift. You don't even understand it. And to 100% know on top of it. See, that's the difference between my gift and other people's gifts. I mean, you could look at a person, somebody's gifted at a sport or some kind of talent, but you can't really explain it. My gift, I can explain it using the calculator. That's the difference. I can cross mine over from psychological to physical. Exactly. I know that's what it is right there. The eighth wonder of the world. Shit, call it the ninth wonder of the world. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but because I said 9, because higher than 8, whatever. But the ability to see negative numbers, that's the real one right there. That's the eighth wonder of the world right there. The ability to see negative numbers. Once you have the ability to see negative numbers, and then you go back and read that Einstein quote, you'll be like, oh, that's what he meant. But people that don't get it, like, wait a minute, those who get it understand it, those pay it. What's that mean? Oh, he forgot. Hey, Einstein's talking about 2 kinds of compound interest: negative and positive. People that understand it earn positive compound interest. People who don't, they pay it. Negative compound interest. That's when you pay it. See how much more clear I made that? Because slaves will think, they'll read that quote and they just think compound interest applies to everybody. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not positive compound interest. Like, let me give you an example. If you're investing while you have student loan debt, guess what you're earning? Negative compound interest, because that's where you started. You can't start in the negative and earn positive compound interest. You can't do that. Who told you can do that? Probably your friends also earning negative compound interest. See what I'm saying? When you can see negative numbers, that's crystal clear. When you can see negative numbers, you know better to take advice from somebody with an FHA mortgage about buying a house. You know better than that. Anybody suggesting you buy a house right now, you turn to them and say, hey, what type of mortgage you got? If they say FHA, that's why they're telling you to buy a house right now. Because they have an FHA mortgage. That's why they're telling you to do it. Now, you think they know that? They don't know that. Okay, they don't know. They don't know that they're telling you to get the same situation as themselves. Know why? Because they can't see negative numbers. If they if they could, they would know better than to do that. You understand? If I knew this information at 18, somebody comes out the blue and say, "Hey, yeah, you know how everybody in the world and your whole life telling you credit is the way to get anything? Yeah, they're wrong. Okay, don't pay attention to them." How many people are going to listen to that? Credit, you come out, everybody around you saying they worship the credit gods, and then here's one person that says, "Hey, don't do that. That's wrong." That sounds like it's crazy. Are you crazy? How am I gonna get a car if I don't worry about credit? The only way you can, cash. Now you respond like that. The only way you can with cash. That's how. That's the only way. They're not gonna hear you. You'll be the crazy person downtown. You might as well put on some dirty clothes and grow your beard out. Don't wash your hair or your ass because that's what they're gonna think you. They're gonna think you crazy. Then you're gonna be over here like, damn, this is what. So the truth is considered crazy? Yeah, the truth is considered crazy. So you better shut up. Why do you guys think I created this channel? You think I go out in the streets talking like this? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? You think I go out? You think I go out in the streets talking like this? Hey man, credit, don't use credit. And this, nah, man, that's business, baby. That's business. I'm not out to hurt nobody's business. If you guys, they're just taking advantage of the fact that you guys can't see negative numbers. That's what they're doing. Okay, that's just business. Like multi-level marketing and stuff. If you could see negative numbers, you would clearly see that is business. Okay, you don't own anything. Because, and if you believe you're an owner of something or whatever you think it is, right? That's because you never owned anything. That's why you think that. Most of those businesses, that's what they sell you on because they know how bad you guys want to be a business owner, but you don't even own yourself. You can't own a business outside of yourself if you don't own yourself. Do you know that? You can't do that. And you're probably thinking, I know you guys all think the same way. What do you mean own myself? Then who owns me? Okay. Log into your Credit Karma. All right. As soon as you log in, there's going to be a big ass number that's going to pop up in your face. You put a negative in front of it. Okay. That's why they don't put the negative there. You guys would catch on. So they don't put the negative there. Put a negative there. That's money that you owe people, you owe businesses, okay? Now go deeper into your credit report, a little bit past the credit score. Those are all your owners. Those are all the businesses that own you. They all own a piece of you. You are the stock slave. You. The stock market, yeah, those businesses, yeah, they couldn't exist without you, slaves. It's you. You are the stock. You guys just don't know that. The stock market, it doesn't exist. No, it doesn't. You can't invest with negative dollars. You guys don't know that. Those are your owners. You think I knew that when I was in the debt matrix? I didn't know that. That was the feeling that I was trying to describe before I woke up. I was owned. Slaves can't own anything. You guys can't own nothing. You don't even own, you make a payment. That's why you're making payments on the very phone you're probably listening to this on. If you're making payments on this phone that you hear my voice coming out of, that phone owns you, slave. Do you know that? That phone owns you. You don't own that phone. Do you know that, slaves? None of this could work without you, slaves. Okay, so I appreciate you. Don't get me wrong. Hey, man, you want to finance a brand new phone every single year? Hey, man, do that shit. Do it. If you finance a Tesla and think you're saving money on gas, keep on doing it. Keep doing it. Please keep doing it. Slaves can't own nothing. You can't own a business. You know what I love about my gift? I don't have to prove. I can prove everything, and I'll always be right as long as I listen. As long as I agree with the calculator, which I always do, that means I'm never wrong. And if you disagree with the calculator, you're wrong. There are no ifs, ands, buts about it. You're wrong. For the longest, I had no idea people finance cell phones. Just didn't make sense to me. How many people, put it this way, this is what I love about seeing negative numbers, okay? All right, and they tell you the statistics, okay? They tell you this because you guys don't know how to listen to the news because you can't hear negative, you can't see negative numbers. Now they always say people barely have $400 in their bank account, right? And nobody barely has that much money in their savings, okay? Now, if you just listen closely, right? If they don't have $400 in their bank account in a savings account, right? And phones are over $1,000. Okay, phones that cost over $1,000. It's the nice one because everybody got to have the best. The majority have to have the best and the biggest and the baddest with the baddest camera and all that stuff, right? If they don't have 400, how do you think everybody has these phones? They're financing. You think Apple would be check this out. Do you think Apple would be as big as they are if people were just only paying cash for phones? The reason why they can grow so big because people are financing phones and they get caught in that loop. Can you imagine being upside down on a phone? Right off the bat, slaves don't even know. Right off the bat, as soon as you sign a contract to finance a phone, you're instantly upside down, instantly. They finance it at the top price of the phone and they finance it. Even walking in, listen, even if you walked in and paid cash for the phone, as soon as you walk out the store, it instantly drops. And people don't really understand. Here, let me give you an example. Right, say like you did. You walked in Apple, you dropped $1,600 plus tax, $1,700, whatever, on a brand new top of the line phone. You took it out the store. You didn't even open it. You don't even open it, and then you go right away and put it up online. You think you're going to get what you just paid for out the store? You're not. And you didn't even touch it. That's what I mean by instant. That's instantly, instant. Because Apple can sell that phone at that price. Apple can, not you, Apple. But they also know it doesn't cost You think each phone costs really $1,600 to make? Come on, man. You can't believe that. You cannot believe that. And then when you really understand what that means. Here, let me give an example. I'll give you an example. Say like you have a $100 bill in your hand, okay? You have $100 bill in your hand, and you're looking at it. You're probably thinking about what you can buy and what you can't buy, and you probably what you're gonna do with it. All these things go to your brain, right? But then you Google how much it costs to make that $100 bill. You Google it. All right, they're not hiding it. They just go to the government website. They show you exactly what they did and how much it costs. And then you find out it costs 14 cents to make it. Now, here's where you're going to start glitching. You're like, wait a minute, something doesn't make sense here. When I look at it, I feel like it's worth 100, but they're telling me right here it only cost 14 cents to make. See what I'm saying? But that doesn't matter. That's just, but I want you to just look at something that goes no different than like raw material things. You think you think the phone that you bought for $1,700, do you really believe that was Apple's cost? They make millions of phones. They make millions of these phones. How much you think their cost is if they make millions of phones? Come on, man. What's up, Dale? Ever notice how the person who ends up with the most in the game of Monopoly is disliked by the rest of the players? The herd doesn't like it when you're not the same as them. They don't. Hmm. So it's weird because once you even when I was younger, I always believed that I just thought, hey, man, what if each of us have a gift and we're just set here on earth and then it says, okay, go find your gift. I used to always think that when I was younger. What if that was the case? Well, I know exactly that was the case. Because once you find your gift, you'll know you find your gift, because the best way I can describe it, everything will just make sense now. Everything will connect like a puzzle. Once you connect the main piece, all the other outside pieces just start coming together, man. That's the best way I can describe that. You don't really make moves until when you just know when to make a move, when not to make a move, what to do, you always know when you just jump the gun because you just wanted something to happen right now, until the time where you feel something that once I 100% realized the ability to see negative numbers last month, the end of last month, now I just know. You see how it all works. You just see. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever be able to see how it all works. I'm just saying, I'm glad I know the core. Let's just put it that way. I'm glad I know the core of it. So when I start reaching different levels, I'll know who to talk to. I'll know what to do what. I'll know this part changes, so I need to find this person that knows about this piece of the economy. How will I know they know? They won't be in personal debt. Because you don't want to have to explain these rules every single time. You're going to find somebody that knows that expertise, and you're going to know they know, because they're not going to have any personal debt. So whatever they charge you is going to be worth it. Whatever they charge you is going to be worth it, because they're going to know, like, this information for me. I mean, I do this for free on YouTube. I give you guys advice, but if you guys want to accelerate it, like you want to get to owning yourself today, like starting right now, I lay out the blueprint for you. This is the way you do it right here. They're going to say, what am I going to get from this? I'm going to give you the ability to see negative numbers. You know how bad I wish somebody would have been able to, so, I mean, you don't know to look for this, okay? You don't know which, you're just looking for finances, and you're just looking to say, which one's the answer? They got a nice car. They must know what they're talking about. They live in a nice neighborhood. They must know. That has nothing to do with anything. Actually, the more stuff you see, probably the bigger the falseness of it. Bigger the delusion. The more stuff you see, usually it's a bigger delusion. Illusion, excuse me, bigger illusion, not delusion. Well, delusional, but illusion, bigger illusion. I know for a fact what I know will change the rest of your life. It will change the rest of your life. There is no going back. I'm not even bragging. I guarantee you'll never forget who I am, ever. And I'm not even saying because I'm special. I'm not saying because I'm special. I'm telling you, it's all because I trust the calculator. That's it. I'm not special. What's up, Wayman Brown? What's going on? Just pulled over at Dunkin' Donuts on my road trip to the appreciate it as always. Dale said the bigger the negative number. Yep. Dorian says, man, how ironic that I came across a video by Dr. Boyce Watkins, yep, saying African American college grads' wealth is declining crazy. And you know, um, and I don't, and I know debt is not a race thing, but I had to bring it up. Honestly, when you add, not you, but they just do that. And I want you guys to understand something. Race has nothing to do with mathematics. If you never forget that, you won't let the confusion of people making it sound like it's a race thing. You'll no longer pay attention to that stuff. Because math has nothing to do with the color of your skin. Yeah, and if you're listening to this, the younger you get this information, I'm just telling you something. Every time when somebody talks about finances or the wealth gap and all this other stuff, you got to ask yourself, why do they think 1 + 1 = 2 has something to do with being black? What you need to, if you want to really find out the answers fast and which race knows more, all you got to do is just Google which race trusts mathematics the most. That's all you got to do. Now, I don't know if Google's ever been asked that question. I don't know if Google's ever been asked which race trusts mathematics the most. It probably won't result in anything. You know, it's like when you're in a debt matrix, this is what I used to always hear. Oh, the Jewish people know, they just know more. Jewish people know this and that. I used to think to myself, why do they keep saying that? Now, if I look it up, you know what I would type in? Do Jewish people trust mathematics when it comes to money? If it comes back 90% yes or 95% yes, that's why the Jewish people got a lot of money, because they trust mathematics. They probably have the ability to see negative numbers. The same thing I'm trying to explain to you guys right now. Maybe they see negative numbers more than other people do. I don't know. But whatever they are, it doesn't matter what color their skin is. Math 1 + 1 = 2. No matter if you're Jewish, Chinese, black, white, Indian, it's still the same. I remember being in school. I remember they used to always say, "Hey, man, make sure you're next to a Chinese person if you're in math class, because you know they pretty smart. Chinese probably trust mathematics when it comes to money." Hey, how are you so smart? My parents taught me math. That's why I'm acing. That's why I'm acing getting an A in math class every time, because my parents taught me mathematics. Probably showed them how important it is. Hey, they probably say, "Hey, yeah, mom, dad, yeah. Whenever you guys count, yeah, always trust mathematics." Okay, lesson over. Go be rich. What do you mean, go be rich? And millions of people can't see negative numbers, so go be rich. They're all doing the opposite. They're selling the time in their lives for money instead of using the time in their lives to make money. They're doing it wrong. Wait a minute, you're selling something. You're selling what something of you that you can never get more of. You do know you're going to be dead one day, right? Yeah, that means you can't get more time, right? Then why are you selling it? How much you selling it for? $15 an hour. You know you're gonna be dead one day, right? Yeah, $15 an hour, and you finance the car. You obviously don't. You can't see negative numbers, so you're selling the time in your life. Slaves don't know that. They don't know they're doing that. Why? Because they can't see negative numbers. That's why I can say this shit out loud. They don't know what I'm saying. Did you see the article in Wall Street Journal about college closing the racial gap, wealth gap, when in fact it did the opposite? Yeah, I see all that. That's all business. When you guys, like, always remember this. Whenever you hear them mix race in with something that got to do with some money, That's part of the program, okay? That has nothing to do with mathematics. Hey, what's the wealth gap got to do with mathematics? Nothing. 1 + 1 = 2. No matter if you're rich, wealthy, poor, middle class, 1 + 1 = 2. It doesn't matter if you got trillions of dollars or not. 1 + 1 = 2. The difference between the rich and the poor, I'm gonna just give you the answer right now. The difference between the rich and the poor, the rich, the wealthy conceive negative numbers. You guys can't. That's the answer. That is the answer. That is it. That is the answer. There is no other answer. But that's part of the program. Okay? That's part of the program. And they didn't prevent me, even though I woke up at age 40, they didn't prevent me. I remember being in grade school. I remember this. The number graph, the zero in the middle, on the right was in green with positive numbers. On the left of the zero, it was red, negative numbers. I remember that in class. I remember walking into my grade school class and it used to be draped across the top of the chalkboard. Every time I walked in, I always saw that number graph sitting at the top. They pasted it up there. But for some reason, after I got out of grade school, I forgot about that. I totally forgot about it. Even though they used that numbering graph when they taught me how to count money, they used that numbering graph. They said, okay, if you got $1.50, this is $1.50. If I take away 50 cents, now you have $1. According to the number graph, you went back. I remember that. I remember that. But for some reason, when I became an adult, I totally forgot about that. That was on purpose. That's part of the program, okay? Because business could not exist. If you guys could see negative numbers, business couldn't exist. That's important that you guys do not. Jewish people lend money with interest. That's the difference. Yeah, the money makes money. And if you can't see negative numbers, you don't know what they're. I guarantee you, the majority of Jewish people are not in personal debt. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. They're probably Jewish people listening to me. Duh, Linnell. Of course you don't have personal debt. Yeah, duh. Yeah, but millions of people don't know that, and that's on purpose. So whenever you hear people start mixing race with money, you got to tune out. Boo! That's not for me. Whenever the news happens to be on, and because it's almost like they go through this script. All right, when you get out of the debt majors, you'll look at the news totally different. It's totally different, right? It's almost like they run a script. It's like they go, weather, nice, something really, really horrible, death, kill, and then they'll go back to flowers and bees. It's just the weirdest shit what they do. It's just weird. You know, when you don't pay attention. You just got to pay attention to the news. You pay attention differently. We'll say Jews and Asians definitely trust mathematics. That's why they're doing so well economically. Yes. Jewish and Asians definitely trust mathematics. They get taught about debt and money at an early. Yeah, that's because that's a must. Like when you learn this information from S&D, what's up, Umanike, E-Man? You're going to naturally teach your children this information. Because once you can see negative numbers, everything's gonna make sense. Okay, everything's just gonna make sense. You're gonna understand why everything's in place. You'll know not to cheat. You'll know not to break financial laws. You just won't do that kind of stuff because once you see how it works, you'll say, "Oh, there's no need to be doing that." No, there's absolutely no need to do that. When you can't see negative numbers, you just think that you're like, oh man, I can't get ahead because of taxes, federal tax, this tax, Social Security tax, it's killing me. I can't really do it right because it's so many tax. No, that's that's because you can't see negative numbers. That's why you think that. If that stuff didn't happen, none of this could work. E-Man says, I had those superpower in kindergarten. They used kryptonite to make me forget, got my powers back. Exactly. I remember that. Math was my shit in grade school. I loved math and money games. Loved it. I loved it for some reason, man. And I remember leaving grade school because sixth grade was the last grade. It was grade school back then. And I remember getting to middle school, which was seventh and eighth. I wasn't doing those games anymore. The math and money games just stopped. And here I am fresh out of elementary school, but I was also upset there was no more recess either, right? Right. So I just thought that went to get, because, once you're out of grade, no more recess, right? It was like, oh my God, no more recess. But, realize as you get older, you ain't going outside to play like that anymore, but you don't know that, right? But so I associated the same thing with the math and money games. Okay, no more recess. I guess math and money games are for kids too. That's what I thought. And so I just moved on, and I started going into I really enjoyed math. So I started going into algebra 2, 3, 4, 5. And then as I got higher, I said to myself, this shit is starting to make any sense to me. The answers are not making sense. I did all that work so I could see 6x equals y. I used to say that to myself, and I was like, I'm going to stop doing that. I don't feel like going any higher. I'm not going to be no scientist or anything. So I don't really need to know all that, okay? So I stopped. Here I am on the total other end of the spectrum. Now, the answer was the ability to see negative numbers, the very thing that I learned in elementary school. That was it. That was it. Once you step out the debt matrix and then you see everybody around you doing what you were doing, it'll take a minute to soak in. The only thing that it's going to be hard for you to, if you've been in the debt matrix all your life, it's going to be hard for you to leave. Okay. It's very difficult. But the only thing that's going to pull you out of it, you got to keep believing the calculator. Because all the millions of people that are in the debt matrix, they're going to tell you, no, that's not right. It's not that simple. If everybody, they come up with these things, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing, they don't know that they're just telling you about themselves. They don't know about everybody else's finances, but their own. So whatever comes out of their mouth, they're actually telling you about their finances, but they don't know that they're telling you that they don't believe it's that simple. See what I'm saying? They're just telling you but they don't know that they're telling you. All same, you're right. What's up, Margaret? Hello. Posters in the local U.S. bank branch. Fix, build, grow. Wow. Talk to a banker today. Marketing home equity loans. Look at that. It's just business, man. It's just business. Like, when I look at stuff like that, when I look at the banks now, because trust me, when you get outside the debt matrix, you're going to look at the banks totally different, especially the top banks. Once I got out of the debt matrix, you know what I did? I just said, I started learning more about the central banks. And then I start typing in Google, who's the top bank in the United States of America? I just go straight to that one because they're there for a reason. You look at everything totally different. You look at the buildings. They're usually on the most expensive piece of real estate in the state. Wherever you're at, usually a bank building is there and usually is the biggest bank, the biggest building. Have you ever noticed that? It's always like that. Those are statements. You know what they're stating? We know something that you don't. Obviously. Can you see that? Obviously. While you're making car payments, we own the biggest building on the most expensive real estate in the state you live. We own it while you're making car payments. You see what I'm saying? You see the difference? I gotta respect that. When I look at stuff like that, the only thing I think of too, when I see big buildings like that, the central banks, the biggest banks, you know what I think to myself? What type of rooms do they have, boardrooms or whatever you think of in there, that the average person has ever seen with their own eyes, let alone a picture of it, a camera. They exist. I promise you, they exist. That will never, ever see what it looks like in there. Would never. Yep, obesity epidemic. Obesity is about to go through the roof. You better believe that. Obesity is about to go through the roof. They be showing the happy family and all that. Yep. It's weird to find, because you always hear about gifts, like when every now and then you'll hear a motivational speaker, or you'll clearly see somebody has a gift, and then when they try to describe how they found it, you can't really describe. But when you do, you'll just know it. But that's the hardest part about finding a gift. You're going to have to ignore all the slaves. They don't know, like, and I'm going to give you guys some real, first, in order, if you ever want to find your gift, whatever that may be, I'm going to tell you something right now. Step one, you must own yourself first. You got to own yourself. That's step one. In order to ever understand what I'm talking about, to ever realize what I'm sharing with you, you must first own yourself. If you don't own yourself, you'll never know what I'm talking about. Like, if you're a person right now that has given up on ever paying off your student loan debts, you'll never know what I'm talking about. You can't. That's the harsh fact. You can't. You can never know, because in order to know, you got to be free. And in order for you to be free, you have to pay back every single penny of that student loan debt. You have to. You see on the business side, you think you're seeing all these people who look successful and look like they're doing no more than you. They're making all this money. They look like all you got to do is ask them all you got to do is say, hey, do you got student loan debt? They don't know they don't know why you're asking that question, because they believe having student loan debt is normal. So they don't have no problem answering that question. And if they answer yes, and you understand that their student loans are older than their business that they're showing you, that's an illusion. They don't own none of that. Because you can't own anything if you don't own yourself. You can't own nothing. I don't care how much money they're making. I don't care what kind of car they drive. I don't care where they went on vacation. Is student loan debt older than their business? Yeah, that's all an illusion. None of that is theirs. None of it. They do it all day long on YouTube. You guys don't know what you're listening for. You hear these people buy these exotic cars, and then in the same breath mention their monthly car payment. In the same breath. How can I afford this car? What do you mean, how could you afford it? Because there's only one way to buy a car, and that's cash. How can I afford it? See, even when you hear them say that, how can I afford this car? Right there tells you they financed the car. Because if you bought it, you obviously could afford it. So if the car's $200,000-$300,000, you walked in and dropped $300,000, you obviously could afford it. But as soon as they mention, oh, how could I possibly afford this car? They're about to tell you about some financing. They're about to tell you why they paid more for this car than what it's worth today. Because the day they bought it, that's the highest it's ever going to be. So they're about to tell you how they finance something going down in value and paying more for it, and they're about to tell you how to do it too. Why? Because they can't see negative numbers. They don't know what they're saying. Hello, Margaret.
Hey, LJ.
How are you? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm doing okay, actually. It's so funny hearing you talking about the way not only do we not see negative numbers anymore, but we've been programmed to not see them. So I was going through invoices at my business and looking at the credit card statement, because we pay our credit card off in full every month, but we charge a few thousand a month to the credit card just for convenience sake. And the way the credit card statement is set up, it shows your balance not as a negative number. And it also shows your available credit as a positive number.
Right.
So
I know somebody pointed that out to me the other day. I remember that is ingenious.
How do you have two positive numbers? What I could borrow from you are both positive numbers? How is that? How does that work?
Right. And you know what it is, Margaret? What they're basically saying is, hey, if you don't know negative numbers exist, that's your problem. That's what it basically says.
Yeah, I just thought it was hilarious. I'm seeing more and more patterns now after having found your channel. I've been fighting to get out of debt for many years, and I'm finally making progress. But yeah, when you see those patterns, you realize that they make subtle tricks on your mind. But once you open your eyes to it, you're like, wait a minute, no. So now I've just got to convince my boyfriend to look at things the same way.
You know what? It's gonna naturally like you're once you get completely out of debt, your business finances, you're gonna see things there. You're gonna be like, oh my God, I didn't see that. I didn't know I could save this much money on taxes doing it this way than the other way. You're gonna just be amazed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, already I'm seeing things where it just shakes my head. I'm like, how did I not know that sooner? And my parents have always been relatively good with business, and my father's, invested in real estate and accumulated, quite a bit of real estate property. But they didn't really teach us anything. They didn't really teach us how to do any of that. My dad always said, don't borrow money, don't take a car loan, don't pay off your mortgage as quickly as you can. But they never really taught us how.
Or why? Yeah, or why? Why? It's like, why are you telling me that? I don't know why you're telling me that, because everybody around me is doing it. Why are you telling me not to? I didn't really get nobody to explain that to me like that. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for having me. I'm gonna hop off, but I just thought that was pretty hilarious.
I appreciate that, Margaret. Thank you for sharing those stories, man, because I think it's important for people to hear when things come into like focus. I call it coming into focus when you start to realize things. It's like it was blurry and then it's just like poof, now it's clear, So thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, it's and that's what it is. I want to reiterate my gift. My gift is the ability to see negative numbers. That's my gift. The younger you understand this, you'll understand why everything is in place. You'll know why to never do tax evasion or cheat on your taxes. Make up stuff to write off that really wasn't able to write. Stuff like that. You'll stop doing stuff like that because you'll know all of that is unnecessary because the majority can't see negative numbers. So you don't need to do that kind of stuff. Like, for example, let me give you an example. And it's got to be true. I don't, but if you can't, if a slave does tax evasion and on top of that cannot see negative numbers, right? 9 times out of 10, the IRS agent that's coming to see you, they probably can see negative numbers. And if they can, and you can't, you're going to be paying because it's going to be an obvious lie. But you don't know what you're looking for. You see what I'm saying? If you can't see negative numbers, you don't know You don't know what pattern they're going to be coming in looking for because you can't see negative numbers. But if you get out of debt and you just follow the rules, you're like, oh, that's why, right? Oh, what's up, Andre? Oh, I have my shirt on. Okay, man, I'm waiting. You probably gonna get looks just like I did. I don't know if any. I mean, I got one person said nice shirt, whatever that means. I don't know if they just like the colors or whatever. I don't know. But. And then the other ones I just got plain, just like weird looks, like the wrinkled eyebrows, like what? Micro college members will get a more thorough explanation. Any questions? You tired of being in a debt matrix? You tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Hell, it's not even paycheck to paycheck no more, man. They're taking your money before you guys even get it now. I don't even know what you call that. First paycheck to paycheck was bad enough. Now you guys are not even making it to the next step. They have created a whole industry on you guys that are even unable. They're filling in the gaps. Okay, they're like, wait a minute. Okay. Banks are getting trillions of dollars in overdraft fees, trillions of dollars, right? Just because you guys can't see negative numbers, they're making trillions. So somebody came along and said, how can we get some of that money that the bank is getting? How can we step in between there? Let's start coming up with some afterpay apps to we'll connect their account, their GPS, where they drive, how much money they make, and we'll get it before the banks even get it. Afterpay, earning, I mean, man, they're doing you guys so dirty, all because you can't see negative numbers. All that's just because, that's it. Dominica says they like what it said, LJ. The person was an alien. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I'm talking to Andre. The shirt. Okay, gotcha. Right. I ain't forgot about it, Andre. I ain't forgot about it, man. We got to talk about we kind of went over, what we're going to do, but I'm going to draw it out and I'm going to send it to you so you can see what I'm thinking, and then you can tell me what you're thinking. But yeah, it's most definitely knowing that I know my gift now. So it's most definitely book time. Most definitely book time. So I've never wrote a book before, so I'm gathering all the resources on how it's going to be done, because it's all in my head. I just need it put on paper the proper way. I just need I'm going to find out, eventually I'll end up with somebody that knows what to do. And I'm just giving my information. They put it down, and that's it. I'm ready. Why I was chosen for this gift, I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure I will soon find out. 2022 is my year, for sure. Out of all the years I've been doing these videos, I've never been so sure than I am today. That is the answer. The ability to see negative numbers. That is the answer. Wayne Omega says you can record it and have someone dictate it for you on paper in book form. Okay. Interesting. Okay. That sounds like a plan right there, because you guys know me, I can talk all day long. But really, honestly, my journey has been through all my videos. So if you went all the way back, I mean, I can't believe how many videos I've made, honestly. When I look back and see how many videos I made, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of videos, right? I could since I pretty much recorded my whole journey on video, I could pretty much just go back and watch myself, because I already know the answer. The whole answer that I was looking for is the ability to see negative numbers. Okay, what I know today. So now I can go back to my first video and kind of watch and see how I got started. What was leading me to the answer I know today. That's the wonderful thing I love about doing this, right? I was able to, now I'm able to go back, listen to the words I was using, see what I was doing, see what I stopped, see what I started, you know, all the way to the answer of the ability to see negative numbers, right? LJ Garnish checks will be living negative check to negative check. Yeah, that's right. Negative check. That's pretty much, that's what Afterpay, pretty much that's what Afterpay is. Like earning apps, Afterpay, things like that, you pay later. That's negative paycheck to negative paycheck. That's what that is. Will that be the title? Are you talking about your shirt, Andre? Or Jay Post says, I remember somebody talked to you and said that they had a woman and they just bought a brand new house in the middle of the pandemic and they were paying these high payments. And you was like, walk away. Yeah. That was the best financial advice. And everyone on the panel was like, no, I can hustle that money. And you were like, what money? That's when I subscribed. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Exactly. What money? The reason, and I'm telling you, the younger you are to understand this, when people talk like that and they talk about things, you got to understand they're talking about negative money. They're talking about negative. They cannot see negative numbers. Unconscious slaves can't see negative numbers. And if you just tuned in, I'm going to tell you, remember, my gift, I can prove my gift. That's the difference between my gift and many other people's gifts. I can prove mine. Now, if you're a homeowner with a mortgage, okay? If you're a homeowner with a mortgage, this is what I want you to do. I want you to open the calculator app on your phone. And I want you to put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, mean what you have left on the house, 300,000-400,000, whatever, right? And then hit enter. All right. Now I just want you to look at the calculator and listen to the sound of my voice. The reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you can't see negative numbers. That's why you believe you're a homeowner. Okay. That's my gift. I can see what's displayed on the calculator and I believe it. Do you understand? That's the difference. So what I'm sharing with you is this. Millions of people can't see what I just told you. Okay. It is what it is. That's just how it is. Okay. That's is. Don't worry about why. Don't worry about that's unfair. Don't worry about any of that. Just say, I'm just telling you something. That just is. And if you ever want to be part of the so-called wealthy, if you ever want to become that, you have to see negative numbers. You cannot do it without it. You cannot become wealthy without the ability to see negative numbers. You can't. That's impossible. Are we crystal clear on my gift now? Are we crystal clear? That's my gift. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The gift for generations. You better believe that. I'm keeping that. Because that's exactly what it is right there. Look at the title. See that title right there? That's exactly what it is. Once you know, it's almost like looking into the future. I guess you could say that, I guess. I don't know. But once you know, that's it. That you know exactly where. Do you know? You guys have no idea what I'm about to become. Do you guys understand? They're going to be comparing me to like Tony Robbins. Do you understand? The only reason why Dave Ramsey is ahead of me because he was born first. That's it. That's the only reason why he's ahead of me, financially speaking. Since he was born first, he found his gift before me, and now he's Dave Ramsey. That's it. How do you do it? You got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. By first you have to own yourself. See, that's what most of the motivational speakers, they tell you the right way. They tell you, hey, you got to believe in yourself. That is true. That is very true. You have to believe in yourself. But one piece they're forgetting to tell you, the majority of them are, first you must own yourself. How can you believe in yourself if you don't even own you? If you don't own yourself, how do you believe in yourself? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Once you own yourself and you realize you are now different than millions of other people, nothing will be able to stop you. Nothing stops you. The financial world becomes quiet. I'm going to just tell you that right now. Once you own yourself and you're able to see negative numbers, the whole financial world becomes quiet. You will only see the important pieces. That's it. That everything else that's like little gnats bugging around, those are slaves. Soon you'll tune all that out. You won't hear slave chitter chatter when it comes to finances. You won't hear that anymore. Once you can see negative numbers, you'll clearly see that no currency at all exists for slaves. None, zero, nothing. Gold, silver, cryptocurrency, the stock market. You'll see clear insurance policies, retirement accounts. You'll clearly see none of that stuff exists. None of it. It's all an illusion. It doesn't exist. There are no money. You can't save money if you have none. That's impossible according to the laws of mathematics. That's impossible. Hello, Alicia. Thank you, Omanique. I appreciate that. It's clear. I'm not even bragging. When I say I'm going to be bigger than like Tony Robbins, you guys probably thinking, oh, who do you think he is? No, I just see it. And I keep telling you guys why. I know something that millions of people don't know. I have the ability to see negative numbers. What do you mean? LJ, I love my shirt, my SMD shirt. And yes, I'm showing it off. Thank you, Alicia. I can't wait to hear if anybody asks you a question. I'm excited. Right there. Look at that title. You have to be able to see it in order to even write something like that on a computer screen. You have to know it exists first. You know, because you think about it, when I was starting, I had people really early on saying, hey, man, write a book, write a book, write a book. But I knew inside that I wasn't ready. You see what I'm saying? I just wasn't, because, you know, I felt like I was still learning, right? You just feel like, there's still a missing piece. Because I'm telling you, once it connects. Then you know there's no doubt, right? I kept saying it, it kept narrowing. Then when I discovered it was negative numbers, it just connected like a jigsaw puzzle. That's the answer. What? Oh, if they could see negative numbers, student loan debt wouldn't exist. It sure wouldn't, LJ. Nope. Wait a minute, there's trillions of dollars in car loan debt. If they could see negative numbers, car loan debt wouldn't exist. Correct, it wouldn't exist. You're right. That's the answer. Yes, that's the answer. Now you see it wouldn't work without slaves? Yeah, I see none of this would work without slaves. Do you see why they believe they're homeowners with 30-year mortgages? Yep. I see it. Yeah. Got it. But the one thing I noticed, what I'm going to love about this though, because I used to think about this. I used to think about like when you see somebody, a movie star and, big movie people, and they can't go anywhere in public and just be by themselves anymore without being bothered. I can only imagine how much they miss that. The one thing I like about with the direction I'm going to be huge, but the majority are not going to know who I am, no matter how big I am. Because the majority are unconscious. What that means is this, and this is real, okay? I want you guys to really understand what I'm saying. They don't know what I'm saying. They don't understand what I mean. Because imagine if somebody came to you and said, hey, man, you realize no currency at all, gold and silver and paper money, you realize how somebody would look at you if you said that to them? What? Then what am I holding? What are you going to tell them? That's not real, what they're holding in their hand? You think they're going to believe you? They're going to think you're crazy. That's what they're going to think. That's why you can't talk like that. You can't talk like that in public. You think they're saying, when they talk about money, do you really believe they understand, like, hey, man, you only know 1 + 1 = 2 because you're black? That doesn't make any sense. I know 5 + 5 = 10 because I'm white. See how that sounds? That doesn't make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense. Oh man, you only know 5 + 2 = 7 because you live in the south part of town. That's the only reason why you know that. See how retarded that sounds? So dumb. That sounds so stupid. You went to that school because that's the only reason why you know 10 + 10 = 20, because you went to so and so school in college. That's what it sounds like. You guys see what this book is going to do? Find the gift first and then write a book about it. I got the whole book is in my head now because I know the end. What I'm trying to tell you guys right now, I have the ability to see negative numbers. That's the end of the book. That's by the time you're done with the book, that's what you're going to know, and then you're going to keep this book because this book is never going to get old ever. I'm going to try my hardest. This is what I'm going to try to do, my hardest. I'm going to try my hardest to make sure I try not to put things in it that are relevant to this point in time. Like if I I have to talk about some things, but like if I bring up, the coronavirus and because soon as you say something like that, now an unconscious slave can tie a time to it. And they're like, that happened back in 2020. And then this is what they'll start doing. All times are not like that anymore. Things are better. Inflation has changed since 2020. And that's why you got to keep stuff like that out of it. And you just keep it strictly math. That way the book will never get old, ever. People will pick up that book and say, hey, man, what I'm reading right now is relevant today. Yeah, they don't know that. It's going to be like that until you're dead, too. This book is going to be relevant to your great-grandchildren. They're going to be thinking, when was this book written? When was this book written? Back in 2022? When was that book written? That dude's been dead for how long? 100 years. And what he's saying is relevant today. Yes, that's the way it is. That's how it has to be. Just because I'm telling you, I don't want it to change. Okay. I don't want the way our economy designed to change. I don't want it to change. I'm just here to help other people understand this part of it, because everybody, we're all human. Everybody dies. You guys can't run slaves. You guys can't be running around the economy unattended to. You guys cannot do that. We cannot allow that. You guys be doing just weird stuff. You can't do stuff like that. Look at IRS agents like the referees of the game. Look at them as the referees to the economy, to make sure you guys do shit right. Because if they allow you to keep doing stuff that you're not supposed to do, it'll mess the whole thing up. They can't have that. They cannot have that. Just because you don't want to take the time to own yourself, that's your problem. So you want to just start breaking the rules because you don't understand it. That's your problem. Once you own yourself, and what I mean by that, you have to have the ability to see negative. In order for you to own yourself, you have to see negative numbers. Okay, there is no other way to do it. Once you own yourself, you'll see the rules and the laws, and you'll be like, oh, that's why they're there. Got it. Got it. Got it. Oh, if we didn't force them to participate, they wouldn't play. Nope, they wouldn't play. So they have to be forced to play. You got to be forced to play. This is the gift. The title of that book, man. Just look. I want you guys to look at that shit. Look at it. Go find another book with a title like that will even understand. You could share this title with anybody in the debt matrix. They will have no idea what that title means. Not a clue. They will look at the title of this book and be like, the ability, I can see negative numbers. You don't even know they can't. They will tell you out loud that they can see negative numbers too. It will tell you to your face with a mortgage. They will tell you right to your face. Once you can see negative numbers, you'll know that you can't save for retirement while having student loan debt. Now some of these things you're gonna be waking up if you decide to just believe it, I guess, whatever, right? But you're gonna be waking up and you're gonna start thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute. If I've been in debt all my life, how have I been contributing to my retirement plan at work? You haven't. You probably been working at a job 10, 15 years, but you've been in debt all your life. You said like this, you've been at a job 15 years, and your student loans are 20 years old. Okay, let's just do an example. Your student loans are 20 years old, and you've been working at your job for 15 years. So your student loans are older than where you've been working. In all those years, you've been contributing to your retirement plan. But if you can see negative numbers, you were like, wait a minute, that's impossible. I can't contribute to my retirement plan if I have student loan debt. No, that's true. You can't. You can't do that. Nope. You're exactly right. You can't. Then how have I been doing it? I don't know. How have you been doing it? That question you can only answer. You're the only one that can answer that question. Nobody else can. What's up, AJ?
LJ, how's it going today? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you good, sir.
All right, I got my phone, so hopefully no one calls me or interrupt or anything like that. So I just want to jump on here real quick. Sorry to interrupt your live here, but I just
no interrupt. That's the Q&A Sunday is about you guys, man.
All right, I decided to jump in here. I had listened to your call earlier with the young kid, the 18-year-old kid, and then I had to jump off, and I just jumped back on here and was listening to you for a bit. But man, you gave some great advice to that young kid, man. I'm so jealous of him, man. Every time I hear about a young person that have this knowledge and is aware, that's the most important thing, that he's
I
aware
know.
of
Hey,
where
he's
he's
aware.
at.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no matter what decisions he make in life, he knows that he needs to fix it at an early age, and he's going to be on top of the game no matter what.
No matter what he does, he's gonna, and you're right. You pointed out the right thing, because I used to think, man, if I knew this back at 18, well, his gift is awareness, to be aware of what I'm saying to him. That's the gift.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So he may make mistakes and bump his head down the road. Who knows what he's gonna do, man? We all been there at a young age, but he would know how to fix it, man. So
well, you got to also know he's not going to make the same mistakes that we made, because think about now that you know this information, and you know time is the most valuable thing on earth. Can you imagine how many things you would have not done as a young man, knowing that fact? Can you imagine?
Oh my God, I did so many things that I wouldn't have done back then.
Oh my God.
This. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
He's going to skip all that, because he's going to realize the value of the time of his life. He's going to realize that.
True. And then it goes back to what we talked about before, like his dating life and all of that. He's already talking to, other, females about, what he know.
Yeah. I forgot he mentioned that. You're right.
Yeah.
He did say that. He was already talking about. I didn't talk about that at 18. You think I thought of any of that at 18? No way. I wasn't even close. That was not on my mind about the finances. I promise you that.
Yeah, look at that, man. I'm like, look at this guy, man. Look, I'd probably be still married today if I was doing that at a young age like that.
Right. Right. Because think about it, you wouldn't have settled for anybody less.
True.
I mean, it's not like, think about it right now. That is not an option to date a slave right now. That's not an option.
No, not especially if you know what you know what you're supposed to do, and you know that you can see negative numbers. There's no way you can date a slave.
No.
Yeah, he got it.
They'll be blaming all their problems on you, why they can't make payments. You should be able to help. You got all this. Nope. Sorry. No.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So I want to jump in here, and I know I've been on the live a couple of times and kind of telling you bits and pieces of things or whatever. And I've, ever since I became debt free, man, I kind of did a little bit of celebration. Like I've been real, just spending a lot of money, all cash. I took a vacation for my birthday. I've been buying, things or whatever, and taking the kids.
I get it, man. No, man, do that. You paying cash, do that.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about doing that, man. Don't feel that's exactly what I did. When I got debt free, man, I took money and I just did so many things.
Yeah.
Man, it just felt good, because I knew once I paid for it, it was done. Once I left that establishment or whatever, I had nothing else to do with them.
Yes. And I'll say, hey, man, I've struggled and sacrificed for 5 years not doing anything. So I'm like, this year I'm just gonna kind of live it up, but I know I have a hill to climb here, and the journey's not over. You're
doing the right motions, because when I first got out of debt, I took a 2-week vacation in Hawaii. That's what I did.
I remember you saying that before. Yes.
People thought I was crazy. They was like, "Who you going with? How long are you staying?" And I said 2 weeks. They were just blown away by the 2 weeks, number one. And then when I said I was going by myself, that was number two. They were like, "You going by yourself?" They just thought that was amazing. But you're doing the right thing, AJ. You're getting what you're doing is you're starting to feel the freedom. Okay, yeah. It'll die down. You'll refocus on because this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna live the life that you always wanted to live, because that's basically what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
You're living how you want to live, but then as you're living it, then you're going to start to think just exactly this way. You're going to think, okay, what can I do to keep my life this way?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what you're going to do now. Right.
That's how you think. That's how I'm just telling. I'm giving you a bird's up a head view. Nobody told me. That's why you're doing it. Now you're going to figure out a way to keep this life the way you want to. You like it like this. Figure out a way to keep it that way.
Absolutely. That's what I'm doing right now. And I thought about this because right now I'm still working, and I want to start ramping up. I'm gonna behave now. I'm gonna get my savings going and even more. And man, I haven't started up my 401k. I get a match at my employer, but I don't know. I think I only got another 5 years in my mind.
Well, this is okay. This is what I want you to do. I want you to look at your 401 now that you're debt free, right?
Yep.
I want you to look at your 401k differently now, okay? So this is what I want you to do, right? I want you to see what tax bracket you're in. Find out your tax bracket, okay?
Right.
Now I'm gonna teach you phantom income, okay?
Right.
Now you're gonna be at a certain tax bracket. Maybe you're on the line between two of them. Maybe you can, if you put in $5,000 in your 401k, it'll drop you down just below the tax bracket. You'll pay less in taxes.
Right.
It'll be like double dipping, right? Because since you're
Right.
debt free, you can do this because you have money, right? You can put some money in. Say like 5,000 was the difference between I haven't looked at tax brackets for a minute, but 24 percentile tax bracket to a 22, whatever, right? And it was a
Right.
$5,000 difference.
Right.
If you put $5,000 into your 401k, it'll drop you down to the next tax bracket, number one, and then number two, you got $5,000 to put away in your retirement. It's like double dipping.
Yeah. 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 There you go. That makes a lot
That's
of
how
sense,
you do
man.
it. That's what you do, man. That's what and you get the match or whatever they're giving on top of. That's like frosting on the cake.
Right. Oh, it'll add up so fast too, man.
So fast.
Wow.
So fast.
Okay. That makes sense, man. So what do you think about, man, trying to put in retirement and all of that and then trying to save for a house? You know, I'm not.
This what I mean. You start thinking strategically, right? You got to start thinking like, because again, I don't know what your money making is, right? But taxes are a big part of it, right? You can save by doing what I'm saying. You can save faster for a house because you're paying less in taxes and you're putting away money for retirement at the same time you're working, right?
Yep.
And I look at 401ks as like practice. Like when you start to go do your own business, 401ks and HSAs will start giving you tax practice.
Right.
You can be able to save on taxes. You'll be able to do something that millions of people can't. Right. So you'll see the tax breaks you get for doing that, but they don't know that. People don't know the true purpose of HSAs and 401k. They don't know the true purpose of them.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you mentioning HSAs. I got to look into that, man. So yeah, that's a good idea. So thank you, man. I appreciate that. So I need to lay down a foundation and start planning and writing some stuff down. Oh yeah.
What?
I got to.
Oh.
You too. Sorry about that, LJ.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm outside and someone came and he's noticed who I was.
He saw what?
A guy, I just passed one that noticed who I was. I'm outside.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so I need to write some stuff down and make a plan. You know.
Yeah, I want you to start. I want you to start paying attention to phantom income. Okay, now that you're debt free.
Yeah.
And phantom income is basically saving money on taxes that people can't, since they can't see negative numbers.
Right.
That's the only way to save money on taxes. You have to be able to see negative numbers.
Gotcha.
There is no other way.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh man, this is exciting stuff, man. And it goes to show like people don't plan their lives out. They just live check to check, moment to moment. They just sign his papers and finance things. Next thing you know, when you're debt free, you got to think about all of this stuff that you never thought about before when you were a slave. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. That's it. You got to think about it too, AJ. You have to have a strong mind on top of that. So when you wake up and you're able to see negative numbers, right?
Right.
When you automatically think back at all the stupid financial things you did. I don't know if you did it. I went through with some withdrawals. I was like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe how long I stood. How long inside of a car sales place? 8 hours to buy. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
Me too. And you mentioned your book, and congratulations on that, man. I can't wait to see what comes out of that and read that. But if anything like my story, I went through hell in a debt matrix. And I could literally write my own book as far as all the things that I've done. People get on here and they say what they've done and all of this. I've done that times 10. You know, I was in so much debt at a young age is ridiculous.
Oh, me too. Trying to. I was just doing what everybody told me. This is what you do. This is how you do it. You need credit to buy anything, and I just believed it. I knew, but deep inside, so crazy. Deep inside, I knew something was wrong.
Yeah, me too.
Deep down, because I remember when I was deep in the debt matrix, And I remember a couple of times I said to myself, I don't know how much debt I'm in. I said that to myself a few times. Never once did I stop and just add it up, right? Maybe I was too scared. Maybe, I don't know, but
Most people scared.
most people scared. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
are.
was. I was scared.
Yeah, I
When I
was
woke
too.
up, when I woke up and I said, all right, I need to tackle this. I want to make a plan. And I started listening to Dave Ramsey, like your story. And I said, I need to add up everything, pull a credit report, add up all my debt. I was scared to do it. I don't want to do this.
Right. A lot of people are not. That's why, I thought about that too. I was like, how come I'm not getting more consultations? I know something that will change your life. I'm like, how come I'm not getting? Because people are scared.
They're scared. That's exactly
They're
what
scared
it
to
is.
know the truth. They're like, if I contact LJ, he's gonna give me the truth. Am I ready for the truth?
Yeah. You got to do it, man.
Imagine somebody that's been in a house for 20 years, right? Making payments on a subprime mortgage. And then they come across my channel and they find out they're not really a homeowner after 20 years of paying. That's a hard fact. That's a hard pill to swallow. That'd be very difficult.
Right.
Very difficult. Big red pill. Big.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I get it. I totally get it, man.
So do I. And so even people coming on the Q&A on Sundays, they don't want to face the music on here, calling you and jumping to your live stream to ask questions.
Right.
People don't want to know. They want to listen and suck up that information, but they don't want to verbalize it and talk about it.
That's why the book is gonna, I can see right now, that's why the book is gonna be so successful. You know why? Because they can buy this book and they can read it in the privacy of their own home or in their car without anybody asking questions. Even the title on the book is going to be like that. And even when people read the title, they won't know what that means. So they'll be okay of reading of such a book out in the open without worrying about people reading the title, because they won't even understand what the title means.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm excited though. I'm excited. You can see it. As we talk, you can see what's about to happen with S&D.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah. It's growing. It's growing. You got young guys calling in and people subscribing in every day and listening, and the word is spreading with the way things are going on in society right now.
Yes, it is.
People are tired of struggling, man, and they're looking for answers. And next thing you
and
know, your channel.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying now your channel's starting to pop up and people are noticing. And then, hey, they're like, hey, I can live different. I need to change some things. Yep. And then they find you.
Yep. Andre was just saying that the other day. We was texting back and forth, and it was like, yeah, after this is settled down, people are going to want to look for, they're going to be looking for answers like, why did this happen to me?
Yep.
Especially the people that got, like, back in 2008, I got caught up in that one, but I was in the debt matrix, right?
Right.
Back then, but thank God I was out of the debt matrix for the second one. But just imagine getting caught in both of those, and the person that got caught in this one probably thinking the same thing. Damn, it got me in 2008 and it got me in 2020. What is wrong?
Yeah, right, right. Yep. Yeah.
They're gonna pick up this book. They're gonna pick up this book and be like, God damn, that's the answer right there.
Yeah. And besides getting like books from Dave Ramsey and his platform, there's not really a lot of other books that you could, there's books on finances and investing and different things.
It's not like this.
No,
it's not like this.
You're the only one that I can find on YouTube that's doing anything like this.
I love it too, man. I love it. I love it.
No one on a Sunday is having Q&A talking about personal finances. No one's having any other streams or making videos. It's all about getting into a mortgage, investing, and just different things like people not even really ready for because they're in a debt matrix.
Exactly.
They come on your channel and they learn, hey, I'm not ready to do any of this stuff. I can't afford it. I don't have the money. And then they subscribe to you and listen to you.
That's it. And that's exactly right, man. That's what's so amazing about it, man. And I'll still be able, I was saying it earlier, I'll still be able to walk out in public without being bothered too.
Yeah, that's right.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not gonna really run into people and say, hey, that's LJ. I want to take a picture with him. That probably will never happen to me.
Right.
Even though I'll be big as I don't know what, I'll be bigger in the whole wide world, but people still won't be able to see me.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's good for you. You can just sit there and change lives without your personal life being affected. Nobody.
Correct. I mean, I will. Huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You said what? Go ahead.
No, I'll just say behind the scenes, just changing lives. That's all I was going to say. Just going to finish up that thought. But yep.
For sure, man. And it feels when I first heard that somebody say that to me, man, LJ, you changed my life, man. You guys, man, because people don't hear that every day. The average person doesn't hear another human being come up to him and say, "Hey, you changed my life." That doesn't happen to everybody, right? The first time I heard that, man, it kind of moved me. I was like, "Whoa!" I didn't expect to hear something like that.
Yeah, I listen to a ton of YouTube channels and people jumping on calls and stuff. I've never heard no one say, "Hey, you really changed my life." You know, no one say that to none of these other YouTubers,
Right?
people with these platforms, no matter what it is. You know,
right. That doesn't. Nobody accidentally says that to another human being. That doesn't accidentally come out of your mouth.
Absolutely.
Right. So thanks for jumping on, AJ. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me, man. I'll talk to you soon and keep it up.
All right, sir. Later.
All right. Later.
What's up, Snuggles? What's up, Nick? You will be on Fresh and Fit podcast soon enough, and you will start a lot of trouble. But we also want to see you on the after show with the girls in Fresh and Fit. You know what's so funny? I really, and I know this is kind of, and this is for the S&B family members, because I want you guys to understand when things, that probably will happen on certain podcasts, but I want you guys to see the difference. If that happens and they put me, I go down to some kind of podcast and they put me in front of some girls, just like Fresh and Fit or something, right? That's when I'm going to kick into dating minus debt mode. I'm going to make sure I show you guys are going to know, but I'm going to make sure the world understands that once you're out of debt and you own yourself, the world is different. It's not the same like that. Sex doesn't control you anymore. I know especially the younger you are, you think, hey man, sex is sex and everybody just has to. No, those are the only people that don't control sex. Once you realize that stuff that you're seeing right now is not true, you'll be like, oh, that's not true. None of that is true. You don't have to be fucking like that. You don't. And this is what came to me not too long ago. I want you guys to understand what I mean. Like sex control. What do you mean? Sex doesn't control me. Let me explain it to you easier. Okay. When you get out of debt and you own yourself, you realize right away, the first thing you realize is time is the most valuable thing on earth. The time in your life. Okay. You're going to be dead one day. So by default, time is the most valuable thing in life. Time. So if you know right now that something out there, there's a virus out there called AIDS that will kill you, and you're still out here fucking with no protection, that by default, that means that means sex controls you because you obviously don't care about the time in your life. This is not made up. There's a virus out there that will kill you if you have unprotected sex with somebody. Now, if you think AIDS looks like something that obviously you don't know, sex controls you. When you get out of debt and you own the time of your life, you don't do shit like that. Stuff like that does unprotected sex and stuff, that doesn't happen anymore. I don't care how good it is. I don't care how drunk you are. I don't care where you at, how you were so badly in the mood. That doesn't happen anymore. That stops. And here's another thing. So you guys that are in relationships with people that do that, fuck around on you and not use protection and they're fucking around on you. They're actually doing you a favor if you just pay attention to it. So say like you control your life. You control yourself. You realize there's a virus out there and a disease out there that will kill you called AIDS. So you protect yourself, but then you get with somebody that doesn't care. Obviously. So what they're saying is this: I don't care about the time of my life, and by me having unprotected sex with somebody outside a relationship, I don't care about yours either. Listen, you guys, this is apparent. This is obvious. This is what happens when you own yourself. Everything becomes obvious. Oh, you obviously don't care about your time in your life because you do know there's AIDS out there, right? Yeah, and you fooled around on me and not had unprotected sex, right? And then we've had sex since that point, right? Yeah, that means you don't care about my life either. The relationship's over. I don't care how many kids we got. Who cares? You obviously don't care about our kids, because if you would have brought it back to me, I would have died. Our kids would have been orphans. Everything connects. So those relationships cease to exist. That's why sex doesn't control me like it did when I was a young man. Because you grow up, you're watching TV and shit, and you just think you're supposed to be a player and pimp and fuck all the pussy they cut. No, that's not. No, you don't. That's not true. Actually, you become more desirable to other women when sex doesn't control you. I promise you, the women know the difference. If they're a good-looking woman and they're walking around and they're looking sexy, every man is going to look at them a certain way, like they want to fuck them. But when they come across you, you won't look at them that way. And they're going to be like, well, wait a minute. How come he's not acknowledging me like every other man in my life every time I walk somewhere? By the way, because sex doesn't control me. That's why. Every woman I see, I don't immediately think, ooh, I want to fuck her. I don't think like that anymore. Those days are done. A whole different type of energy will come off of you, and women will notice. I promise you. It won't matter your clothes. I mean, you got to still look presentable. Don't get me wrong, and take care of yourself. But you won't have to have the latest pair of red bottoms on for them to notice you. They'll notice you. I promise you, they'll notice you. Your whole energy will be different. And when you think about the show, right? Those are young women. Okay. I'm in my 50s. So they're probably going to look at me and think it has something to do with my age. They think, when you're young, you think you get your 50s, your sexual organs stop working and you look a certain way. Women none of that is true. You can make 50, 51 look anything you want it, you choose it to be. All you got to do is take care of yourself. That's it. You just got to take care of yourself. If you take care of yourself, your dick will still be working when you're in your 50s. I promise you it will. All you got to do is take care of yourself. Is having a mortgage is your only debt? Is having a mortgage as your only debt bad? Yeah, no, it's not bad. I'll just say pay your house off. That's a good thing, especially, and it counts on which way you've been paying off debt, and now it's your house. Pay your house off, because this is what people don't really understand. Do you realize what a paid off house is? If you pay your house off fast, you never have rent and or mortgage again for the rest of your life, your entire life. Now imagine if you had no debt with a paid off house. Would you care what the economy's doing? If the economy did a downturn and it crashed, would you really care? It's going to come back, so just wait it out. It doesn't matter. The bank has nothing to do with you. When you own your house and you have no debt, you and the bank, you guys have nothing to do with each other. Who cares what they're doing? So what? I want to keep talking about hookup culture, though. Well, that's what, with the hookup culture. I mean, I'm saying this. I'm not saying when you're young, don't have sex. I'm just telling you, especially the younger you are, I'm just telling you, if you know there's a disease out there that will kill you if you have unprotected sex, and you decide to go ahead and have unprotected sex, I'm just saying something to you. Sex obviously controls you, obviously. Like, what if you're man or woman? What if every time just before the guy puts it inside the woman, somebody stops and says, hey, by the way, if you do that, there's a possibility that you can be killed, right? What if in the middle, before you had sex, every single time somebody would put their hand, by the way, you know there's a possibility that one of you guys could possibly have AIDS and you will die if you catch it. Would the sexual drive override that? Because it's the exact same thing. It's just without the person standing there. Because I promise you, when you just before you have sex, there's a little voice in the back of your brain that is saying that maybe I shouldn't. Ooh, man, I want it so bad, but maybe I shouldn't do it unprotected. But you guys just ignore it. That's the time. That's the time in your life talking to you right there. Hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. That's the time in your life saying, hey, that doing that could cut us short. We could be. I could be looking for a gift, and time is the most thing. In order for you need time to find your gift, and you're going to cut it short for this session of unprotected sex. I don't care what you look like. This is, and I want to keep saying this to guys too. I want you to understand something. When you own yourself, it won't matter what the woman looks like. Her beauty won't captivate you thinking that making this an exception. That will never happen. You will be clear to say, hey, I want to let you know, I'm not like all the other guys, so I'm not going to be trying to fuck you on the first night and all that other stuff. I won't be doing any of that, okay? I'm just letting you know that right now. They're going to think you're an asshole, or they're going to think you or whatever. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter. If you want to share with them because you care of the time in your life, hey, latex is really against. Well, hey, I'm sorry. Well, condoms bother me. Well, I don't know what to tell you. We're not having sex. Are you going to do that? Then you turn to them and say, you do know there's AIDS out there, right? That's how you got to say it. You got to look them in the eye. When you try to tell them no, you stop them and you turn to them and say, you do know about AIDS, correct? Because you guys, honestly, when it comes to this dating minus debt, it gets so much deeper. You guys when you can't see negative numbers, you don't see the bigger connection. You just don't see it. Besides knowing that you could die, okay? Besides that. Can you imagine getting out there and, there's like, hey, the medicines are getting, hey, man, this is just my opinion, okay? This is just my opinion. Hey, the medicines are getting bigger. People are living longer. Is that medicine for free? Is the medicine that's keeping you from dying from AIDS, is that medicine free? And if you ain't got no money, guess what you're going to be dependent on to get that medicine? The government for the rest of your life. Do you want that? Do you want that? I promise you, once you own yourself, sex won't rule you. You won't care you don't care what kind of dress she's wearing. You won't care if she does whatever she does good in bed, him or her. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. You won't care about what kind of job they have. You won't care what college they went to. It doesn't matter. If you're hooking up, you say everybody you're hooking up with. You don't even have to lie to people anymore. You know how people would be lying and hurting people's feelings, all fooling around on them behind it. You don't have to do any of that. You just make it straight. Number one, sex doesn't rule me. Let's just make sure that's clear, that you understand that it doesn't rule me. Number two, each and every time we have sex, we are using protection. Okay. Number three, I'm not only seeing you, I'm dating other people. If you start to catch feelings because our sex life is good and you want to, we're going to terminate this relationship, because I'm telling you right now, it's not going any further. Now, of course, the majority of people have never heard anybody talk to them like that before, ever. People are just not that direct. You can't be. That's crazy. Nobody said, yeah. When you own it, when you know you own the time in your life, you will. Like you get with people that love to be late all the time and show up 5, 10, 15 minutes like it's normal. No, those friends get cut off. Those people get discontinued from your life. Because there is nothing worse than being in control of the time in your life, but somehow you're trapped to waste yours because of somebody else. That's horrible. And what I mean by that is like, say like you're going to meet somebody for lunch and you said you're going to meet at 3:00 at the restaurant. You're there as a person that respects the time in their life. We're usually there about probably 10 to 15 minutes beforehand. Anything under 5 minutes makes me uncomfortable. And then they show up 10, 15. Oh man, I'm sorry, I'm this and that. Now I had to sit there because of course they're always texting and telling you how far they are from the spot. They always love to do, hey, I'm 5 minutes away. If you're texting me, you're 5 minutes away. You're not 5 minutes away. You're just saying that to probably make me feel good about you being more like 15 minutes away. That kind of stuff stops. That doesn't happen anymore because now we're trapped waiting. Because what if I had something planned after this lunch? Now I have to tell whoever I was planning on doing this with, oh man, hey, now I got to make up some bullshit. Escaping the debt matrix. The sex debt, exactly, the sex debt matrix. Boy, you get this information as a young man, realizing that, and I'm giving you guys the answer right now. If sex controls you, if you're having unprotected sex with a disease out there that will kill you, it obviously controls you. They probably don't want me on shows like that. They just don't want them. I mean, those are younger girls, so they're not gonna really think I'm anything because they're gonna think I'm old, but they don't really understand that they're young. They don't know that they're young. I'm not old. They're just young. And you guys see it. That's why the majority of these young guys spend the money they do, because they think if I listen to these guys that are on this show or who that they fucked X amount of girls, they must know it. No, none of that is true. None of that. They don't know to ask, hey, by the way, how many times have you put your dick on the crap table? By all these women, did you use protection every single time? How many times did you expose yourself to AIDS? What you probably won't look at them like such a pimp and a player anymore. That won't happen. That doesn't sound like a pimp if you risk your life that many times. Nah, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. I like breathing. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. No, you call that a what? A hustler? All right, whatever, man. Whatever. You think young dudes know the answer? You think the young dudes know to ask questions because everybody does it? They think it's not a big deal. Like when you hear on shows, right? You hear on shows like the couple get married, and then like this one show, what's that? I forgot. My girlfriend watches the show. Well, anyway, it's about married couples, right? Anyway, this younger dude, they was married. Him and this couple, they were the black couple. They were married. He fucks around, has a kid by a younger woman, and then of course they divorce, right? But you got to think of the bigger picture of what happened. You know, they think, oh my God, he's such a dog, and he went and had a baby on her. Well, okay, that's horrible. Yes, but they don't even look at the bigger piece of the puzzle. Going all the way back to what I said before, there's a disease out there that will kill you, AIDS. So he obviously was fucking around on his wife without protection with the other woman for who knows how long, or how many times. He could have possibly cut her life short because of his dick. Do you get it? That's the bigger thing. But since the majority of people don't own the time in their life, they don't know that that's the bigger thing. It's like, do you realize you could have put me on pills for the rest of my life? Here, especially if you are the person inside the relationship, you ain't doing nothing. You are aware that there's AIDS out there. You're fully aware of it, so you're not fucking around on the person. And then the person goes and does it on you. Now you're exposed. People got to see the bigger picture. They don't see. You think I saw that when I was in the debt matrix? I didn't see none of that. I didn't see any of that. Absolutely none of that. I think back to some of the things I did when I grew up being taught by all the youngsters in the game, teaching you all the wrong stuff. Never once some pimp player hustler came out, hey, by the way, yeah, there's AIDS out there. Don't ever forget that. What does AIDS do? It kills you. Yeah, that means you're dead. How does that happen? By having unprotected sex? Yeah, that's how it happens. Anything else you need to know? No? Okay, well, head on out. Good luck. Head on out in the world. Good luck. Don't forget what I said. See you later, Andre. This knowledge here changes your entire life. It's not, SMD is more than just helping you with finances, right? It helps you own yourself by having the ability to see negative numbers. That's what it does for you. Once you own yourself, you'll never forget the time in your life is the most important thing on earth. You will never risk anything from it being taken away from you. You won't risk that. Like example, and I always said it's just like that movie, that time travel movie that singer that was in, where he had the time on his the time in his life was on his forearm. Can you imagine if we all had that on our forearm? The exact time and date you were going to die on your forearm, right? You could see it. Do you know how much time you would not waste? You wouldn't be arguing with people. You would not be in a relationship going nowhere. You would stop. You'd probably know right away if you went, say like you argue every single day with your partner, every single day, and you were looking at this clock on your forearm, seeing how much time in your life that you're wasting arguing with this person instead of being happy. And you saw the timer going down, that relationship would end. You would figure out how to leave it. When it comes to racism, here's another thing. When I was younger too, okay, because I grew up in a predominantly Black area in the projects, right, in Seattle. Well, Seattle projects, okay. When you think about Seattle projects, I have to specify that because I don't really consider it like that. Out of Time, yeah, that was that movie. I remember as a kid when color was starting to be shoved down my throat, right? But I always had my own mind, okay? I was never a follower, okay? Just because somebody said something didn't mean I was going to automatically do it because they said it. I was never like that, ever. And I thought to myself, when I started hearing about racism when I was younger, I used to think as a kid, I'm like, if we peeled back, this is just a kid thinking, okay? If we peeled back the skin of a body and you took the skin off, you wouldn't know what color they are. Because all of our insides are exactly the same. I mean, especially between a man and a woman. I mean, a man's saying, a woman's saying, but everything's the same. So I knew when I was younger, I knew it didn't have, I mean, of course it's racism is there. Okay, it's there. Of course it is, right? Of course there's corruption, there's bad people. Of course. But it's not the majority. Because if it was the majority, you wouldn't be able to go sleep at night. Somebody would be breaking in your house, in your car every single night if it was that bad as they portray it on TV. You would get shot and killed every time you went to the store. Of course, there are people that don't want to follow the rules. That's why they're. If we allow that to happen, everybody would lose. That's why most people that invite me on, they already know how I feel about the racism. They know I don't be talking about none of that, because it ain't got nothing to do with any of it. Now, once you understand it really ain't got nothing to do with it, and you come out, own yourself, create a business, make some money, and you want to come back with real money to address the issues that you want to change, come on, go do that. But do not forget, for what it takes money. And I promise you this, the majority of you guys are slaves. Whatever you thinking that you think matters, if you're a slave, you guys don't matter. I mean, you matter because the economy wouldn't work without you. But I promise you this, it doesn't matter what you guys think. You guys are slaves. You guys don't know that. If you got a student loan that you ain't never planning to pay off, don't worry. Hey, don't worry about anything. You don't even own yourself. Race baiters are crybabies. Most of the time, slaves tend to be that. The white man is doing me wrong. Yeah, whatever, slave. Exactly. Whatever, slave. Hold on for a second here. Whatever, slave. I'm excited to see the podcast I'll be going on. I'm looking forward to all of the angles that they're going to try to come at, because you got to remember, they don't, even though I say I have the ability to see negative numbers, you got to remember the majority don't know what that means. So they're going to be coming at me with a whole bunch of different angles, but they're not going to know that the angles that they use will not make mathematical sense. They won't know. It won't matter if it doesn't make mathematical sense. It doesn't matter the way you tell the story. It won't matter how complicated you make the financial equation. It won't matter. The only thing that I'm not looking forward to is hearing, their long drawn out scenarios, because that's the only thing. I don't like, waiting for them to be done with their long drawn out financial. Well, what if you have two houses and then you hack one and then you live in one side and then you put it in your mom's name and then you file it? No, slave, it doesn't matter. You didn't buy anything. Slaves be crying out racism, but sitting in a financed vehicle with a financed iPhone hanging off the AC. Hanging off the AC. Crazy, man. I'm gonna love what I do until the day I die. You hear me? You guys, I want you guys, especially SMD family, I want you guys to really understand what I'm about to do. I'm about to create something so big, and I never have to update my skills ever. I'll never have to, oh man, I need to get some more training. Nope, math is going to be math. It's just because 1 + 1 is going to equal 2 until I'm dead. I will never have to upgrade my skills. When I write this book, listen, when I write this book, the book is never going to get old, ever. It's never going to be outdated unless I mention some things in there. Maybe certain statements in there, but the majority of the book will never get old. Imagine that, you guys. Your grandkids will be able to pick up this book and relate to it. But if you read this book and you understand, you probably will never have to buy the book, but because you're going to naturally teach your children this information. That's just you're going to have to. And all you guys got to do, this is all you guys got to do, especially young parents. All you got to do is pick up the game of Monopoly, the board, read the rules on the box, and play debt free. Just keep playing with your kids Monopoly over and over, but you guys are playing according to the rules on the box, and you're playing debt free. Just keep playing with them, and then they just take those skills out into the real world, and they'll know exactly what to do. They'll know exactly what to do because it's exactly the same. And then if you want your kids to have some practice on some slaves, take the board over to some friend's house, get your kids some practice on some slaves. It don't matter their age. Their age don't matter. Say, hey, mom, dad, uncle, friends, hey, you guys want to play Monopoly with my kids? And give them practice. That gives them practice towards the real world, because all those people think car payments, phone payments are normal, mortgage payments is normal. They're just going to play like they play in the real world. And then when your kids understand how it works, and then they get into the finance game, they're going to be fucking professionals. You think I'm joking? Ask yourself. Did you ever read the rules on the box of the game of Monopoly? Have you ever read the rules with your own eyes? Probably not. I guarantee the way you've been playing Monopoly for years, I bet you if you go read the box, I bet you all that stuff you guys been doing, none of that's on the box. Taking money and putting it on the park plays, throwing the money in the middle of the board, those rules don't exist. Those rules that you've been playing by, those are the rules that slaves wish it was going by in the real economy. They wish it was that way. So they play the way they wish it was. They're like, man, I wish it was like this in reality. Well, it's not. So why are you playing like that? It's not. That's all you need to know. It's not like that. So if you go play and they start to say, hey man, you say that's not how we're playing. Okay, we're not playing Monopoly like that. None of that is real. Here is the shirts. Here's the Cash App. I do these Q&A Sundays for you guys, and I know you guys, but we just need people, you gotta let go of that that scaredness. Okay, you got to let it go, and you got to be able to jump up here and ask the questions if you ever want to not be an unconscious slave. If you want that to stop, and you want the ability to see negative numbers, this is how you do it for free. Because if you come directly, of course, it's going to cost you, but I will have the answer for you. I'm telling you what I'll give. I'm telling you what I will give you for your money. The ability to see negative numbers. I'm giving you that ability. I'll lay it on a piece of paper and say, if you follow this, if you do what I say in here, everything, because I'll rearrange, I'll go through your whole personal financial life, your whole one with a fine-tooth comb. Unlike anybody ever before me, I guarantee you nobody will have ever gone through your finances like this. Personal finances. Guaranteed. Guaranteed when I'm done with you and you follow what I show you, you'll thank me until the day you die. You understand? You'll thank me until the day you die. I'm not even bragging. I'm not bragging. And I'm telling you what the gift is. The ability to see negative numbers. That's the answer to everything. The younger you understand this, the wealthier you'll be. Every show that I go on, they will never have had a guest like this on their show. Anybody. Especially in the game of finance, personal finance. They will never have heard a person like me speak the way I speak and saying what I'm saying. I know you youngsters are listening. Are you guys listening? The younger you are, I'm telling you something right now. The younger you are, you understand this? Hey, man, your life is going to be, it's going to be forever changed, forever. Out of 37 YouTube subscribers, 37 million YouTube subscribers, there is no other channel like this one. I'm the only channel like this one, the only channel, the only one. The ability to see negative numbers. That is the answer. Can you imagine what this book is going to do? Can you imagine this book? I didn't know. Hey, wait, LJ, why don't you just wait till you find your gift, then write the book? Now I'm ready for the book. Ready. If you guys even want to know what's going to be in the book, I made videos about damn near my whole step all the way to the day I'm talking to you right now on this mic. But that's a lot of videos. That's a lot of videos. I didn't realize I've made that many videos. I've made hundreds of videos, hundreds. I don't even count them. I don't even count the videos that I've made, but it's hundreds. Documenting, those videos are more for me too. They're documenting my whole journey. How did I get to this conclusion? Right there. All of those videos. That's how much work, listen, that's how much work I had to put in to find my gift. Because the universe is just not going to just give it to you. You gotta say, I'm serious. I want to find it. I'm dead serious. All right, you got to go through all these steps to get it. Then it's like, ta-da, voila, and then it just presents itself to you like, oh, isn't it obvious? Yeah, it's obvious. Yes. Yet millions can't see it. Nope, can't see it. Nope. And it has to be that way. Sure does. Has to be that way. Yes. Do you want it to change? No, I don't want it to change. I like it the way it is because it's all by choice. I chose not to be wealthy. That was me. The reason why I wasn't rich, wealthy, whatever you want to call it, because of myself, me. I did it. We're going to wrap this up, man. 2 hours, 30 minutes in, since there's no more questions. Have you ever heard of? No, I haven't. I haven't heard of that before. Nah. Slave says, we know you're listening. We know you're listening, and it's okay. It's cool, man. SMD's here to help, really. I know I sound like I'm harsh. You might see some other SMD members that sound like they're harsh. It's really love. It's not. It's more of intolerance to slaves, right? Because once you get to a certain level and you understand it's just the ability to see negative numbers, you clearly see that slaves can't see them. And then when they say certain things, you just really don't have the tolerance level for it. But if you always remember that they're saying the things they're saying because they can't see negative numbers, it'll help with your tolerance level of slaves, because you know obviously they can't see negative numbers. That's why they're saying what they're saying. Because if they did, they wouldn't say it out loud in public. Right? You wouldn't call yourself a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. You wouldn't say that in public. You wouldn't check the box on a credit application when they say, "Are you a homeowner?" You wouldn't check yes. If you could see negative numbers, you would not check yes. Because that might be a box just to, maybe they just use that to see how many people with mortgages believe they are homeowners. Maybe that's how they do surveys. Let's figure out how many people still believe they're homeowners with 30-year mortgages, and then they just do out these credit, and then you guys all check homeowner, and like, okay, well, the certain percentage do believe they're homeowners. Cool. It's still working. That's how they do surveys. But I mean, hell, they already know. I mean, they own the houses. If you got a mortgage, you don't own the house. The bank owns the house. So they pretty much know the percent. The bank knows the exact percentage of you guys that believe you're homeowners with mortgages. They know that. And they know and they also know the percentage of people that are true homeowners with no mortgages. They know that too. Like, let me give you another quick example, then I'm gonna get off here, right? If you know a debt to income ratio, DTI, right? Some formula that the bank made up that says that will determine if you're able to get something from them, right? You don't know that if you need some kind of formula to tell if you're able to buy a house, you're not ready to buy a house, because there's only one way to buy a house, and that's cash. Okay, like if the house is $400,000, you need $400,000 to buy it. There is no other calculation needed to understand that. But since you don't know that, the banks come up with this thing called DTI, some convoluted some bullshit, right? And you just, it's like pulling the handle on at the slot machines. They pull the handle and say, okay, you got a great credit score, you got this history, and then all of a sudden, if it matches up the way the bank likes it, they approve you for more debt. Because it's really to determine how much debt can you handle before you go bust. That's what debt to income ratios are for. Because you don't really understand, if you have no debt, there is no ratio. The ratio doesn't exist. But since you have debt to income ratio. See how that works? It's just, again, when you're able to see negative numbers, everything becomes obvious. Everything's obvious. That's why I look at the banks totally different. I just look at it in awe. I just look at them like, wow, that's pretty damn powerful. Yeah, that's amazing. That's totally amazing. I don't know how you guys did that. That's pretty amazing. That's why they have you guys so focused on the future. because you don't know you're a slave today. That's why you don't want to concentrate on where you're at today, because you don't own yourself. That's why you think freedom and salvation's in the future, because it's most definitely not today. You're working like a dog. Yeah, well, why don't you figure out why you're working like a dog today? You guys don't know the future doesn't exist. You create your future in the present. The future is going to be determined by what you do today. Do you understand, slaves? Today. All right, we're about to wrap this up, man. I'm tired. My jaw's hurting. All right, like I said, that's going to getting and it doesn't. And I don't want you guys thinking just because I'm talking about the book, it's going to happen ASAP. I got to get information. I got to do research and stuff like that. I got to make sure this is done right. Okay, so I'm getting the kind of advice that I need, because I definitely don't want to be the one writing it. So obviously I'm going to get some ghostwriters or something, right? So I just have the information. I know how to lay it out. And somebody that's smart with books, they'll know how to put it in the right places, in the right spots, and then this book will be born. All right. And this book will be born for sure. That's going to happen. Yeah, slave, that vehicle with the highest trim level is still bank owned. You just drive it for social media acceptance and family neighbors approval. Sure, yeah, that is it. I saw a commercial that a girl switched to Chime because the banks were screwing her. I know, right? And real quick, have you guys noticed how strong these online banks are being pushed? Have you guys noticed that? Check out all the ads that are coming across your social media. I mean, there are banks coming out the wazoo. Bank with us, bank with us, bank with us. No, the same spiel. No overdraft fees, no overdraft fees, no overdraft fees, no overdraft fees. If you are going to a bank because they offer no overdraft fees, you're a slave. You're a slave. If they have no if you're going there because they have no overdraft fees, that's because you're a slave. That's why you're attracted to that bank. Never heard of it. Don't even know what's going on with it. You guys just jump in. They're taking full advantage of you guys. Full advantage. Anyway, you guys have a good afternoon. Until next time, later.